Last time on Skoolie Life, I had trouble starting my bus in Silverthorne and I headed west into Grand Junction. I am still in Grand Junction. I've been here a couple days. Working on the bike, working on phone. Let's see, the phone, the bike, my health, and I'm at Tractor Supply now, and I'm still working on the bike, still trying to figure out the fan problem, and I feel like I'm getting close. At least I think I've got most of the wiring identified, and I haven't found the relay yet, but hopefully I can do that when I get back. I've got doing some troubleshooting right now. So what I've attempted to this point is shorting the temperature sensor, just jumping the temperature sensor, and that turns the fan on. Temperature sensor's right there. Well, hell, now I see 4. I don't know what the hell I'm doing. Obviously, I don't know what the hell I'm doing. I don't think it's the temperature sensor, since I got the fan to come on. So what I'm going to try to do now is I've made some jumper wires to jump directly onto the fan. That way I can turn the fan on. If the fuse blows at this point while the fan circuit's bypassed, then I think the fan motor is bad. That's what I'm thinking. So I have jumped the fan. The fan is spinning and the fuse is not blowing. But damn, those wires are getting hot. So I'm thinking maybe I may have a failing fan, if not failed already. Well, I'm pretty sure it's the fan is the problem, because if I touch this thing's still freaking hot. So it melted the fuse in here. I guess that's why they put fuses in stuff, so you don't melt wires. That stupid little fan right there is 250 bucks. I mean, of course it's got a BMW stamp on it probably, so why wouldn't it be 250 bucks? Anyway, at least I know what's going on. So I guess what's happened is I'm guessing that little rock that fell out when I popped the fan case, the shroud off, when that happened, that kind of let me know that there was something binding that fan up before it actually broke. So I'm pretty confident the fan's probably burnt up now because it's been fighting that rock bouncing around in there. Surprisingly, there doesn't appear to be any damage to the radiator. You would think a rock like that would bounce around in there would at least ding the fans up, but I don't see any kind of, well, maybe a little bit. Not much evidence that the thing's been dinged up, so I guess I gotta get a $270 fucking fan to replace that, unless I can find something around here to. I noticed these two young men walking across the parking lot, and they seemed odd and out of place, and then realized they were going through the fence. Looked like they were trying to jump a train. It seems pretty obvious that's how they're traveling, but thought it was kind of odd. I know a kid that did that for a few years. Another form of freedom, I guess. Just a different way of traveling. I think if you're young and don't have anything else to do, I think it's probably kind of interesting. But anyway, what I wound up doing is taking a computer CPU cooler fan. Don't ask me what I was doing with this. It's been floating around in the overhead bin forever. But I pulled the fan off of that cooler and made a couple of brackets, some mounting brackets, and lo and behold, the damn thing worked. So this is my charge controller that melted this morning, and
I could feel that every time I reached up there, it was getting really hot, so I knew it was probably going to be a matter of time. I got too much amperage coming through it, and I don't think this thing is really rated for over 20 amps. So anyway, you can see the where the connector melted right here. Well, the screw is just covered in plastic now because it melted, and you can see it probably almost caught fire. But the weird thing is it came back on after it went off, and I'm on my way over to get my new charge controller. Isn't that thing awesome? And it's a good quality. Well, shit, almost 400 bucks. It should be good quality, but you know, it's a MPPT, which is a much better, higher quality type of controller, and Blue Sky is pretty well known. So, but I got that installed really quickly. I think, well, you know, obviously most of the work installing solar is running wires and all that shit, mounting stuff. But the mounting was the easiest thing that I did. Hell, not even 4 screws, 3 screws. Got some drywall screws and just zipped it right up. Everything else just kind of plugged into place. I had to bypass the load out. I'm just coming straight off the batteries now, which is probably the way I should be doing it anyway, but it's nice to have a cutoff. You know, if I leave and forget that my shit's on, then, you know, it gets down low voltage, it'll shut off. But I'll figure out what's going on with it. Something's going on with the load output, and it'd be nice to have control of that, but the menu is kind of hard to understand. So about got everything fixed today, and my freaking I mean, I'm putting my bike back together and realized the vent fan goes out, and I look over at the charge controller, and it's just sitting there flashing on and off, so it's coming back on. Anyway, I melted my charge controller today before I could get the fan back on my motorcycle. So, you know, just like everything else, I mean, it's just, I need to make a list of the failures in the last week. It's just been fucking amazing that all my shit can break in the same week. I mean, I don't have anything else to break except, well, no, my body was breaking. I was on the phone with the doctor trying to get an appointment, and my phone died. So, you know, shit, man. Bus, motorcycle, health, phone, charge controller. Anyway, the weirdest thing, I started looking for solar shops. Maybe I can get a cheap replacement. I get the exact controller that I was going to upgrade to for probably retail, what I could buy it online for, and it's 6 miles away. I just think that that's really odd. Grand Junction, I mean, this is not a huge city by any means, but you just don't, there's no such thing as retail solar. That's the one thing I've come to realize. I have been in one store, I've been across this country, been looking for stores. Nobody wants to sell you anything retail. They want to sell you a big fucking design package that's going to cost you $50,000. They don't like people like me that build their own shit. So you can't walk into like a Walmart and buy a charge controller or anything. You can't buy panels. You can buy the shittiest of shit solar from Harbor Freight. It's horrible and way overpriced for what you're getting. It's shit. But that's the only place you can buy anything that's even close to what I was looking for. Anyway, found the charge controller, shook the guy's hand. I was so excited to find somebody that would actually sell me something, number one, and sell me exactly what I wanted, is exactly the price that I would pay online and have it shipped somewhere a week or two from now. Anyway, as shitty as this week has been, you know, disaster-wise, it's actually turned out really well. I'm sitting on the Colorado. It's beautiful. I really haven't had a chance to explore much. I went for a short ride yesterday to look for some food to eat and test the motorcycle before I put the fan on it. But the good news is I've fixed my solar issue and got a brand new perfect charge controller. The fan's installed on my bike. It's a computer fan. It's a CPU cooler. This is basically what it is. It's a 12-volt fan. And obviously right now it's doing the job. I haven't done anything strenuous, and we'll find out if it's actually going to do the job long term. But the greatest news is I pulled the bad fan out that was blowing my fuses and killing my motorcycle. It's one thing to lose your fan. You just have to let the bike cool off or overheat or whatever, but to not have a running motorcycle in the middle of the desert, that's what was happening. My fuse blew in the middle of the desert. I had to push it out. I could have put the only other fuse in there, but I probably wouldn't have gotten back to the bus. Anyway, as shitty as things have been, things look like they're starting to turn around. I'm guessing there's something else that could blow up before I leave, but my plan right now is to head south tomorrow to Montrose area. Peach Valley is what I'm looking at, but things can change. I can find something extraordinary before I get to Peach Valley, or hell, before I leave here. I mean, I might roll up into the National Monument tomorrow. I don't know. I mean, everything in Colorado is just superb and fantastic, and this is the shitty side of town. And look at this. It's got a freaking awesome park and an old bridge, and smells kind of funny, but Colorado's just awesome, and I wished I could spend more time enjoying Colorado rather than fixing my shit. But if you gotta get broken down, Grand Junction's not a bad place to get broken down in.
Join me next time as I travel south towards Montrose and get sidetracked and wind up climbing up onto the Grand Mesa into the forest and have a lovely few days looking down on the rest of the world from the mesa.